All right, guys, welcome to the weekly watch list video. Let's take a look at the charts and go over what we are seeing going into this week. Okay, so taking a look at the charts here, taking a look at SPY first. First thing is we are heading towards 2.5 ATR here. That's what this green line is. We're getting close to that 2.5 or that 1272 extension, which I want to make sure I have this right. So the high, so 23. Oops. So that would be 23. And the low here is 80. Yep. So when we're looking at this, we can see here we're heading near that 1272. I believe it's similar for the Qs. We can just draw that real quick. And that's usually a resistance point once we get to it. And you can see clearly a resistance point for the Qs. This could be a pausing point, but I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, I'm not going to go long because the QQQ has hit the 1272, right? We can keep chugging along, moving higher. Price still looks good. We've got green trend bars. We have a squeeze. We have the momentum heading to the upside. We might want to get a little cautious when this momentum starts to give out. Okay. So same story, different week, right? So we look at SPY. Same thing. We got that weekly momentum still moving upside. Then same thing here. We've got the weekly or daily momentum still headed to the upside. Okay. So there's no reason to like, yes, we are extended, but we haven't gotten any signs of, hey, we're about to roll over. Okay. So that's that. Look for that momentum shift. I like to give you guys something when we're evaluating the S&P 500, just something that kind of gives you the, okay, here's what to look for when we see a shift in the market, right? So this is an example. So look for that momentum shift on the weekly, look for it on the daily, keep it simple. We had a daily squeeze, momentum going to the upside, so we have to be bullish, okay? And then we can take a look at some of the big dogs here. NVIDIA, way past the 2 ATR. Let's check out those extension prices. We've blown past the 1272. We got the 1618 near 200. So that seems like a likely price point sometime in the future. If we can get a pullback to the 9, that'd be really cool. The weekly 9, which would be right around that 170-ish area. You can see that 1272 acted as support here. So if we get a pullback near that area, we may want to look to buy. Okay. So keep an eye on that one. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Microsoft, just trading sideways here. You can see volume starting to pick up to the downside, which is interesting. This might just need some time. Like you can see the weekly chart, huge wick, and then inside candle, inside candle. So if we break like last week's low, I'd be a little cautious on this one because we could see a pullback to 500. And 500 would not be a bad place to buy that one. Okay. So we look at Apple, which we discussed last week. This one looks good. Weekly squeeze, big buyer volume here. Last time we had some big volume like that was back in here. Um, so a pullback on this one should be bought. We look at the monthly, you can see we're trying to trigger a monthly buy signal, which on Apple would be really nice because you can see here, well, look, we go back into here. That gave us a 100% move, and then a 300% move, and then a 73% move. So this here might be worth taking a look at, buying some. We're still about halfway through the month, so a little bit of pullback wouldn't be too bad. Crosses below, we may want to pick up long-term shares to be able to trade that weekly or that monthly signal. Okay, so that's Apple. Come on through Amazon. Amazon had some news. back uh, this week about how they're doing same day grocery delivery, I think. But you can see here, we came right down to that weekly 21, got right, bought right back up. Similar thing was Netflix. So Netflix came down to that weekly 21. You can see we had this really nice move, weekly squeeze. Now the momentum faded. We pulled back to the weekly 21, and then now we got bought right back up. So now you can see the daily 8 or daily 9 and 21 are starting to flip. And usually, if you look at my or Netflix, that is usually a bullish sign for the stock. You can see when the moving averages flip, usually presents a pretty good buying opportunity, especially in the when you're looking at this weekly trend that we have. So Netflix looks great. Um, and then let's see, am I missing any other of those big names? We can take a look at. No, I think that's it. Microsoft, yeah, Meta. Take a look at Meta real quick. 2 ATR extension, getting a little extended, but this is a great looking chart. You can see we gapped up, held this gap up, and have continued to trade higher. So now let's take a look at some setups. So, uh, Pony. So this is a Chinese stock, relatively new IPO. This one looks really good. You can see we're building higher lows on the weekly chart. Similar here on the weekly chart. You can see this nice shakeout we had. Either it was either before or after earnings. Yeah, so it was after earnings, and then we got bought right back up. We actually bought it right around 1460, and so this one's looking great. I'm looking for a breakout and continuation on this one. I think this has got a lot of room to go, and it can possibly head to $20. Weeble. This one is a highly speculative one, but this one here looks really good. You can see we've got this massive slingshot on the momentum histogram. Price is getting tight. We've had 2 inside days. So create an alert. So if we can get a breakout above this like 16-ish, we have earnings coming up in a couple weeks, so you might be able to catch a run into earnings. But yeah, this one looks ready to go. Daily chart looks good with the squeeze, momentum starting to shift. Weekly chart as well. I think what we're looking for here is if you break out above like this past week's high, we could see a pretty nice run in earnings. Rocket Lab, this one's pretty extended, but you can see off this weekly squeeze, we had this huge move to the upside from which ended up being about 140%. So that was an awesome move. Um, Now we're pulling back and consolidating. I would like to see a little more sideways action, just to let the 9 catch up and we can buy it off that 9, kind of like this back here. So that one looks good. TM, we bought this off the breakout just below 70. We bought it at like 69.50. And this one looks really good for a breakout to the upside. 75 has also been kind of a resistance level here. You can see it was rejected here, here, and pretty close to right there. And then that's where the highs, pretty close to where the highs were last week. But so this one has crazy or some big volume coming in. So I couldn't ignore that, especially on this day when we entered. So we entered here on this day. It had a big gap up. It was on my watch list from the day before, but it had a huge gap up and showed some massive volume. So I just had to get involved. It was still within the weekly entry zone. So I'm looking for continuation on this one, and it looks great. Strong start so far. I'm looking for continued higher prices on this one, and I'd like to see a move up into honestly a new all-time high is where I'm thinking. And then we've got $100 not too far off. So that one looks great as well. So keep an eye on that one. DraftKings, the daily and the weekly charts are not very interesting to me, but if you go look to the monthly chart, we've got this massive cup and handle here. So if we can get some buyers coming in, let's see, we've got 50 price level up here. See if we've got any significant fib retracements. So we're trading above the 50% and notice how the 618 lines up right there. So breakout above 50, this thing's probably gonna have a huge move. But ATR is $8 on the monthly chart. Weekly chart, yeah, you can see I'd like to try and buy it somewhere in this consolidation. Let's try and cross below. Um, and then let's see, where's 45 at? So we're trading right around 45. So we had a little bit of volume come in on, or nothing crazy on Friday. But yeah, keep an eye on this one. This one looks pretty good for a continuation to the upside. So keep an eye on that one, but that's definitely a very longer term type thing. Um, this one, it's kind of a break and retest of this here. You can see we put in this low, had big buyer volume coming in, then put in a higher low, and then now we're trying to we're kind of retesting that support level here. We did it on high volume. So I'm looking, can we see a breakout on this one above $10? Because right now 10 is acting as a key psychological level, but if we can break that, this should have a pretty decent move up into like 12. Okay, so that one looks pretty good. Herbalife, ABT. So this one needs a little more time. Maybe later this upcoming week. But what I'm looking for is we got this nice squeeze, red dot squeeze. You can see the last one and the time before that gave us some pretty good moves. So this one here, we had a nice shakeout to the 618, got bought back up, had another shakeout last week. So I'd like to see like one day or 1 week or maybe just a few days of consolidating above these moving averages and holding them. So that one looks good. T-Mobile. So this has been in my nightly report that I've been putting out with you guys a lot. This T-Mobile. So this AT&T, which if you bought this one is playing out very nicely. Um, there's T, and then what was the other one? Oh, Verizon. So this one looks pretty good as well. Uh, so all of these are setting up and look like they're going to make an upside break. So I do want a pullback on it. So if I can get a pullback to 250, I would love to buy this. So um, we can do options, can do shares, but this one looks really good for a buy right around 250 for a move in a new all-time highs. And this is kind of a group thing or a group stock. So they're all like this one, T-Mobile, VZ, they all usually move together, but typically T-Mobile is actually leading right now, but T-Mobile or sorry, I get these confused. AT&T is actually leading, but T-Mobile usually is the leader, and it's actually the one that's the closest to all-time highs. So with that being said, I like this one for a move up into new all-time highs. So it might be worth picking this one up in a long-term shares, or we can do this as a trade as well. So we would want to see it fall like $5. You can see it actually came and retested and held it pretty well. But that looks like a really good support level too. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. It's at 2.5 ATR on the daily chart. So it's a little extended. I'd like to pick it up closer to that level there. K-Web, Chinese stocks still look great. I've been putting out information about these a lot in the past couple weeks. So hopefully you guys have been able to take advantage of that. ABBV, I have no good reason as to why I didn't take this one, but this was a really good looking chart and now it's breaking out without us. And yeah, great breakout, broke above 200, and you can see how important those key psychological levels are, and they kind of just make their move, right? Um, Twilio, this one I think needs more sideways action. Bros, we're in this one, taking a little bit underwater here. Don't love this price action. We bought it at the retracement right here at the 50%. I want to see next week, can we reclaim it? We've got our stop here. I am looking for this one to move up into $80. So if I'm wrong, we're in options. It's all good, limited risk. But we've got our stop set there, and we're just letting it play out. Baba, same thing. This one has earnings. This one could be a major stage two breakout. So I'm keeping a very, very close eye on that one. Once earnings gets through, I'd like to participate. Tesla, we picked this one up on Friday. So we bought the leverage shares pretty close to the lows on TSLL. So we bought this one at we bought it at $12. So 12.02 I think was our exact entry. So I am looking for this. If we pay attention to Tesla's actual chart, you can see if we pull back here, we pull back, we dip below the 330 level. And I was looking, okay, this is a spot where it's been kind of key resistance. Um, so I am looking for if we can hold here, hold the moving averages, then I'd like to see if this could be a higher low out of this bigger consolidation pattern that's been forming. And I'm kind of anticipating like, okay, is this sort of like the first higher low out of this consolidation break? So okay, RCAT. So this one of the few times I play a stock that's under $10. We picked it up here on Thursday at around 9 30 was the price point, and then they came out with earnings randomly the next day. Had no notice of it, but that's how it goes sometimes. But we saw some buyers step in here right at the weekly 21. Our stop loss is down below the weekly 21. So, managing risk, I'm looking for if we can reclaim this and get some strong buying in the next week, we get that break of 10. This thing should be off and running and soon be like a $13, $14 stock again. So, that's the watch list. Those are the ones we're looking at. Um, we got a few ones that are doing really well, a few ones that are kind of but that's okay. That's trading. But yeah, those are the charts I'm looking at. Got some pretty good setups going into next week, and I'll keep you guys posted. So thanks for watching.